YouTube gurus keep lying to you about SEO, so I'm going to set the record straight. SEO does not matter for 99% of YouTube channels. Before I explain why and what actually matters today, here's overwhelming proof. This channel belongs to Zach, a beast of a jazz drummer, and you'll notice his most popular video, and the first one that went viral, does not have a single word in the title that relates to music. It has 0 tags on his video, and if I click through some of his other videos, you'll again see random titles and no tags. Maybe you think that's a one-off, but it's not. Here's another example of a channel by Ichikanito. Again, you'll see random titles on viral videos and the only tag is the word guitar, which by YouTube SEO guru standards would be absolutely terrible. So if you still don't believe me, here's Mr. Beast's channel. Again, no keywords, no tags, and most importantly, here's an actual clip of Jimmy confirming that SEO and tags mean absolutely nothing on YouTube today.
I uploaded a video with no title, no description, and 1 tag, and when I searched that 1 tag, the video did not pop up, so the tag didn't do anything in SEO ranking.
But maybe you don't believe him either, so here's Alex Hormozi also confirming that SEO doesn't help on YouTube.
On the other hand, there was like the coaches, gurus, etc. that I could go to, and I didn't want to do that because they might be using something that worked like 5 years ago, which honestly I see all the time. They're like, guys, you've got to do hashtags on YouTube videos. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Now that you know SEO doesn't work on YouTube for getting lots of views, you need to actually understand why it doesn't work and what you can do instead that will actually get you some views. Oh, and if you don't know me, I've monetized 20 YouTube channels over the last few years and gotten hundreds of millions of views in the process, so you could say that I have a little bit of experience with YouTube's behavior over time. The answer to why SEO doesn't work on YouTube anymore is really simple, because it's too easy to abuse. YouTube realized in the late 2010s that users were spamming keywords across their channels to trick the YouTube algorithm into thinking that their videos were a certain type of content, when in reality it wasn't. For example, you make a video about politics but put loads of investing and finance related keywords across the video's metadata in order to trick YouTube into thinking it's finance content, which then results in getting loads of finance ad mid-rolls and a really high RPM. But for the actual advertiser, that's terrible value because it's the totally wrong audience. So YouTube realized that they had to determine what type of content your video was without using your video's metadata because your written keywords couldn't be trusted and it was costing advertisers money. Also at this time on YouTube, each user's homepage was not as aggressively curated as it is today, which meant users spent a lot of time using the search bar to actually find what content they wanted to watch, and so a large percentage of views were actually search driven. So that kind of made sense at the time to have an SEO-based search system. But then YouTube realized that just because a video had really good SEO mapping didn't mean the actual video's content was good or even about what the keywords claimed. So even in YouTube search, they started to prioritize videos which had better core metrics like AVD, CTR, and 30-second viewer attention, instead of things like SEO. So no matter how good your SEO was, your video would get buried if your actual viewer data was bad. Then YouTube actually started improving its homepage algorithm and became more targeted for just the type of content that you would like. So viewers started using the search bar less and less, which brings us to today where only a fraction of YouTube views are actually generated via search, and it's certainly not enough view volume for 99% of channels to thrive on. Now, some YouTube gurus might make the argument that that's fine because you just need to start getting some views via search and then you'll start getting views from other sources later, but the problem is that that doesn't really work anymore because you have to write a really boring title for SEO purposes which might work on a few YouTube search views, but the second YouTube tries to show that video to a wider audience, your click-through rate will absolutely crash because people click on titles that have intrigue and emotional impact, not a series of keyword slop. As a side note here, I think it'd be really cool if YouTube allowed you to actually test different titles at the same time on different parts of the YouTube platform. So you could test title A on the homepage and title B on the YouTube search audience. Anyway, so why do YouTube gurus keep preaching about YouTube SEO? Because there's only 2 scenarios which explain their actions here. The first one is they honestly just haven't realized SEO doesn't work yet, and in that case, they're idiots and you just shouldn't listen to anything that they say. The other scenario is they do know what I just explained is true, but they're lying to you for some unknown and mysterious reason. Money. It's always about money. YouTubers who make videos about SEO know that newbies to YouTube always gravitate towards learning about SEO because it gives them this sense of hope that if they can just type a bunch of keywords somewhere, then their YouTube videos will get views even if they suck. That means that SEO videos are always really, really popular. So off the back of getting lots of views, that YouTube guru now has a really good platform to promote their YouTube automation course or even promote YouTube SEO tools like vidIQ. Now, I'm not here to start any drama with vidIQ. When it was first made, it was useful for SEO because SEO was relevant on YouTube, and today it does still loosely have some utility through its other features and for the 1% of YouTubers who SEO is relevant for. But for most people, it's useless for SEO purposes. But for newbie YouTubers who don't know any better, who are watching a video about YouTube SEO, it's a really easy sell because it's very easy for the YouTuber to claim SEO made one of their channels blow up, even though they probably won't or can't prove that claim. Okay, so now you know that traditional YouTube SEO isn't actually going to help you, and you understand why, then what does YouTube now use to understand your video and know who to show it to? Well, there's 3 key data points here. The first one is the actual audio in the video. Now, hopefully you all know that YouTube transcribes your video for automated captions, but the mistake that YouTube gurus are making is suggesting to you that if you manually change the automated captions and add in keywords, that it will somehow help your YouTube's SEO in the YouTube algorithm. This isn't true, because YouTube has already used the audio to contextualize your video and make judgments on who it's for. You can't change that back-end process by changing the words on the automated captions because YouTube knows that that data is open to manipulation. And the way that YouTube listens to your video is not just about words, it's about sounds too. That's why it can detect copyrighted music and sound effects, which means that that is all relevant to YouTube's understanding of your video, which explains why Zach and Ichiko were able to put nonsense titles on their videos and YouTube would still understand who the video is actually for. So you absolutely should include keywords in your voiceover if you have one, just not to the detriment of the actual video, and YouTube is more sensitive to some types of words than others. It pays close attention not just to words that might violate its terms of service, but words which actually give a clear indication of who the video is for. For example, if I use words like Canada, England, English, America, and American, YouTube takes that as a really strong signal that my video is for people from those countries. And I know that's true because in this video about an American gamer, I said the word of a certain Eastern country 4 or 5 times, and because of that, the video got loads of views from people from that very specific country, even though my normal viewer base is all English-speaking Western countries. Now, that might seem too anecdotal to you, but YouTube literally has a feature where if you say the name of a celebrity in a video, YouTube highlights below the video which celebrity was mentioned. So clearly they have an understanding of each individual word spoken in the video. The second data point is the visuals. We know the YouTube algorithm watches your video because it's actually able to detect things for, copyright claims or terms of service violations, like if something's too physically aggressive or too intimate. That means the YouTube algorithm knows how original or how repetitive the visuals in your video are, and what type of content it is based on what it can see when it watches your video. So it's much easier for YouTube to actually understand who the video is targeted at if your visuals are really clear. The third data point is your actual historical viewer data and the viewing behavior of your viewers whilst they're watching other videos on YouTube. And funnily enough, this is the single most important factor. The people who choose to click on your videos versus those who do not, and how long they do for or don't watch for, tells YouTube exactly who the right audience is. The best way to get this right when your channel is new is to absolutely hammer away at points 1 and 2, which were audio and visuals in your video. That gives YouTube a bit of direction. But then after that, it's all down to you to actually correctly package your video with the right title, thumbnail, and visual hook for the right audience. And the best way to actually do that is first for the thumbnail to aesthetically match your audience's cultural vibes, e.g. gamers tend to like animated content versus a 60-plus-year-old likes something more traditional media looking. Then for your title to signal who the video is for, what the topic is, and do so in a way that's unique that triggers an emotion or feeling in the viewer. Because if you do it in a very literal way with your title, it'll be boring and get a really bad CTR. What you want is a title that clearly says who the video is for, but does so in a clever way. For example, instead of me calling this video "Why YouTube SEO Does Not Work Anymore," I can call it something like "Why YouTube Gurus Lie to You About SEO," or "YouTube Gurus Want You to Fail So They Keep Lying to You." The first version there gives me a clear topic, which is YouTube SEO, and it tells the viewer this video is for people who watch videos by YouTube gurus. The second version of the title is a bit more triggering and is unclear what the exact topic is, which adds curiosity, but comes with the risk of the viewer not actually knowing what the video is going to cover and how relevant it actually is going to be for them. So I said a few times earlier that SEO can be relevant, but for only 1% of YouTube cases. Why is that? Well, 99% of people watching this video will be making YouTube channels that fit into one of the following buckets. Either it's an unbranded faceless channel, it's a branded faceless channel, or it's a talking head channel, which are either for entertainment or educational purposes. What they're not doing is a video called How to Fix a Hotpoint WMAO863 washing machine. And I gave that example, 1, because that's the one that I have and it's completely trash, and 2, because it's the only kind of video today on YouTube where SEO is actually relevant. Because nobody would actually click on a video like that on their homepage, so the only way that a video like that's going to get any views is if someone searched it via either YouTube search or Google. So in this very specific scenario, SEO is still relevant. But as I said, 99% of you will not make a channel like that because it's never going to get enough views to make any money. And don't make the mistake of thinking that all educational channels or all tutorial channels actually need SEO, because they don't. Lots of tutorials and educational content have mass appeal, like how to grow a YouTube channel in 2025. Now, even though some people do search phrases like that, those videos will appear on homepages and will be clicked on assuming you give the video a good title. Even on my channel, which is educational for exactly that purpose, only 2.3% of my views are from YouTube search. The other 76% are from the homepage, and 8.5% of them are from similar videos suggesting my videos. So if you want a no BS approach to actually growing your YouTube channel and to learn strategies that are not actually outdated and work today, then click the link at the top of the description and we can get on a call and I'll walk you through the exact systems that I'm using with my clients today to get crazy, insane results like this.